From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
What a gorgeous start to the work week with lots of sunshine and warm temperatures. No rain anywhere nearby. There'll be a few clouds filtering in this evening, but otherwise no complaints. Temperatures 64 Lansing, 63 in Jackson, 65 degrees this afternoon in Adrian. Winds have been gusty today, gusting near or better than 30 miles per hour, and that's created some problems with some grass fires we'll talk about coming up. Forecast-wise for tonight, we've got a cold front on the way, and it's going to make a big difference as far as the temperatures go as we head into tomorrow. Now, it's not going to start out cold. Temperatures only drop into the low 40s, but we're only going to rise to near 50 or so by tomorrow afternoon. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
The weather is heating up and local fire crews are already tackling brush fires in the newly thawed vegetation. It's our top story tonight at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. The Howell Area Fire Department called in help from surrounding departments to handle 2 different grass fires today at the same time.
Howell fire crews were already fighting one grass fire in Marion Township just south of the city of Howell when another call came in from Osceola Township that's just northeast of the city. Fire crews from the Fowlerville, Brighton, Argentine Township and Heartland Deerfield fire departments jumped in to assist. Both fires were eventually brought under control.
And fire crews were called out to a brush fire in Stockbridge Township this afternoon as well. Our 6 News photojournalist on the scene reports several fire trucks were there and the fire left a significant area blackened and charred. There was an ambulance on the scene, but there is no official word on whether anyone was hurt.
So, as you can see, brush fires are a big problem right now as the weather turns warmer.
But how risky are the conditions right now? We're going to throw it back out to Chief Meteorologist David Young for the answer. David?
The latest drought monitor, we knew going out of winter that we've been below average snowfall and precipitation wise, and drought monitor bears that out with extreme drought conditions or severe drought conditions across portions of mid-Michigan. To the east a little bit better, but all in all it has been quite dry out there. Our fire danger today is between a 3 and a 5, relatively high, especially with those gusty winds. Tomorrow afternoon we'll see the similar setup with gusty winds, fire danger between a 3 and a 5, which is kind of in the mid-range there, so you want to use caution once again. It's not until we get into Wednesday when we start to see some improvement with less wind on the way, and hopefully later this week we'll have some showers and thunderstorms back in the area, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, David. Staying with fire news, crews were called out to a mobile home in Rives Township today.
And there's dramatic footage of that response that was shared by Michigan Fire Alerts.
Take a look. It happened on the 1100 block of White Oak East. That's on the east side of US 127 north of the city of Jackson. As you can see, fire crews sprayed water into a mobile home as heavy smoke poured out of the windows. Tonight we're working to find out how the fire started and if anyone was hurt.
The Livingston County Sheriff's Office is investigating a death involving a burned out car and a body found not too far away.
It all happened over the weekend in Conway Township north of Fowlerville. Zach Priest spoke with neighbors today. He's here for you now with the latest updates. Zach?
Sherry, dispatchers received a call on Saturday morning from a homeowner who woke up and found a burned car in his driveway. The car, a 2000 Toyota Camry, was found unoccupied at around 8 a.m. in the 7000 block of Sherwood Road. Then, just about 2 hours later, not far away, deputies were also called out for a report of a body. That happened in the 8000 block of Robb Road. Deputies say the deceased was a 25-year-old man from Flint, who is also the owner of the burned car. Investigators say he had been shot. And we reached out to law enforcement, but they say that due to the nature of the investigation, they will not be releasing more information right now. And we will continue to follow the investigation and bring you any new information as soon as we get it. Back to you.
Thank you, Zach. Staying in Livingston County, a woman was killed in a crash in Tyrone Township Saturday afternoon. It happened around 1 p.m. at the intersection of Hogan and Linden Roads. That's just off US 23 southwest of Fenton. According to the sheriff, a 55-year-old woman from Clarkston was driving east in a 2006 Chevy Impala. And when she failed to stop at the sign, she was hit by a Ford F-150 that was headed north. First responders tried to save the woman, but she died at the scene.
The organization behind Michigan's largest food bank says funding cuts to food assistance programs are going to make food more expensive for its members, and that means less of it will be coming to your community.
Nick Simon talked with experts today who are worried that they'll have to cut some of their services, and he's here for you now to explain.
Sherry, Siobhan, the Food Bank Council of Michigan says that the USDA has stopped providing states with more than $1 billion worth of aid. I talked to the head of the Jackson Food Pantry today. She says that they're still trying to figure out exactly what has been cut, but so far, the news is concerning.
The first thing I go to is anything that's labeled USDA. I just bought milk. They're $4.56 for a case, and that's a USDA price. But the normal price on that would be always in excess of $18.
Under the Biden administration, the USDA had been reimbursing local food banks for select purchases to give them a price well under the market rate. But now, the USDA is saying it won't pay back anything that was spent since President Trump took office. Food pantries tell me that changes to USDA prices will have a drastic impact.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least to see that amount triple. And triple might be conservative at this point.
Food pantries make their budget a year in advance. So if prices increase drastically, there will be no choice other than to cut back on services.
The end result is we will only be able to buy enough food for enough people. So that might mean that we run out of food while there's still people in line, which we've never had before.
This all comes at a time when inflation is hitting grocery stores, and more people are getting priced out of healthy food. And with fears of a looming recession on the horizon, food bank workers say now is the time for the government to be offering more support, not less.
I've heard one description of what's going on is random acts of cruelty, and certainly from what we're seeing, that is true. You know, they need to be more empathetic towards the needs of people out there and more understanding towards it.
State officials tell me that they should get more clarification from the federal government on what programs are being affected by the end of the week. But officials in Illinois have already said that they don't expect the money to come back. If these cuts do get finalized, Michigan food banks tell me that the need for community donations would grow dramatically. Back to you.
Nick, thank you. Today is March 10th, marking the 5th anniversary of the first 2 cases of COVID-19 here in Michigan.
And within 2 weeks, shutdown measures were in effect and everyday life was about to change forever.
It was the start of lockdowns, shutdowns, and quarantines, all designed to slow down the spread of the virus until medical science could come up with a solution. More than 1 million people were killed by COVID-19. Ultimately, society was able to make a comeback when experts say new, safe and effective vaccines were introduced and researchers got a better understanding of how to prevent the spread of the disease. But for many people, the effects are still being felt. Long COVID symptoms can last for years after infection, and many people with compromised immune systems still need to take precautions to avoid infection.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Springtime weather set up over the next week or so with some very warm temperatures like today, some colder temperatures like tomorrow, but still some cool stuff to check out outside, whether it's warm or cool. In fact, we've got a total lunar eclipse on the way later this week. It's going to be very early on Friday morning if you want to check that out. You'll have to be up pretty late, or if you're an early riser, maybe it fits into your schedule. I'll just have to stay up really late, but should begin at around 1:09 in the morning, peaks at around 2:58, and then ends by 4:47 a.m. Hopefully the clouds will cooperate. I think they will, and it looks like we're in fairly good shape, so something to check out later this week. Our high temperature trend, notice also as we get into Thursday and Friday, the really warm weather is moving back in. Highs in the 50s Thursday, near 70 Friday afternoon, followed by much colder weather on the way as we round out next weekend. Satellite and radar today, we've got mostly clear skies, but a few clouds will filter into the region this evening. Strong cold fronts on the way. We talked about this last week. I was really worried about Tuesday because I thought this front might sneak through, and it is going to, and it's going to make a big difference. Highs low 50s tomorrow as cold high pressure begins to build in. It's going to keep moving though, so by Wednesday morning it's already slipping to our east, so that'll start to transport warmer weather back into the region, and any chance for snowfall will remain well to our north. Even with this cold front, we're way too warm for that. Skyview Network, just some high thin clouds out there on the McLaren cam. Temperature 64 degrees. Today's high was up to 66 with wind gusts just under 30 miles per hour. In Grand Ledge this evening should be a beautiful sunset. Temperature 63 degrees. Today's high was up to 64. On the Jackson cam, some nice color out there with some of those clouds as well. 64 the high, 33 the low. Wind gusts today close to 30 miles per hour. In Hillsdale, it's quiet and it's nice out there. Temperature 62 degrees. Today's high was 64 and our morning low dropping down to 38 degrees. A few other numbers from around the viewing area. Ionia at 63, same in St. John's. Howell 62, Mason and Charlotte mid 60s. Low to mid 60s to the south and east as well, so very uniform temperature-wise across mid-Michigan. Tonight's forecast is not going to be that cold, down to 42 degrees with mostly clear skies. Winds 10 to 15 or so. Tomorrow's forecast will start out in the lower 40s, but just not warm a whole lot. Upper 40s at noon, temperatures near 50 or so tomorrow afternoon. It'll be breezy as well, so it's not going to feel quite as nice, but still lower 50s is not bad. The 6-day forecast on Wednesday, highs near 50 once again. Upper 50s Thursday, then late Thursday night into Friday. That's our eclipse. Friday night, some showers and thunderstorms. Those will move out early Saturday. A few more showers with a strong cold front on Sunday. It drops us into the mid-40s for highs. The 6+ 6-day forecast. Pretty quiet Monday and Tuesday, then more showers on the way next Wednesday and Thursday. And temperatures continue that typical springtime up and down pattern with cold fronts still move through this time of the year. We're not quite to summer just yet.
But the cold fronts aren't as cold, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, today in the mid-60s, low 50s tomorrow is not cold, but it'll feel cool.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Well, we talked early about those fires that we had off the top of the show in Livingston County. They were actually yesterday, not today, but still be warned, be very careful out there if you're starting fires. Thanks, David.